After 2.5 years of absence from Santa Monica, I was in New Zealand, living alone, away from my ex-partner, and had a very interesting time, just like Thoreau may have lived in I think, Maine or New Hampshire when he had a quiet time by himself. It was wonderful, and then coming back to Santa Monica, California. I lived in California altogether 40 plus years. And here, after 2.5 years, I see many books I left, pictures, photos taken, all the memorabilia stuff. Amazing reflection time. The key point of this video, it turned out to be related to some of the books I picked up. And one of them was about Daisetsu's writing on Bodhidharma, first patriarch to China from India, about transmission of Zen. The key message in this video is coming back to home. And that was triggered by a song that I sang and listened when I was maybe 8 years old. Very famous song about Furusato, home, after accomplishing the mission. So let me talk about it and then see how I can connect this song with this Bodhidharma story when he moved from India to China almost 2,000 years ago. The song itself is quite amazing for me. I wish you can listen and understand in Japanese. It's a simple song. The guy is reflecting his time at home. And it goes something like this. I used to chase rabbits in the mountain. I used to fish for minnow in the river. I still dream of those days even now. I miss my hometown. I wonder if my parents are doing well. I wonder if my old friends are all right. When it rains, when the wind blows, I think of my hometown. Once I've done what I set out to do, I return home one of those days. Where the mountains are green, my hometown, and the water is clear, my hometown. From Japanese to translate like that someone did, I'm not sure if it can carry the message, but what I took is the point especially about home, what it's like, and accomplish the mission to go back. In one of the books I mentioned about use the brain, listen to your heart, and live with your mission. Reflecting my last 45 years, something like that, I had the mission and I moved from Japan to the US to accomplish the mission. And at the age 75, almost 75, 74 now, I feel I did pretty much all I could. So this song reminds me of going back home. My home is Japan, but since I left my home Japan, where this song came from, my home is a little more different than the typical case of going back to Japan because I lived in this country, California, Santa Monica, on Pacific Palisades for 40 plus years, as much as I lived in New Zealand, probably altogether 5-6 years. On top of I had time in Ireland for I don't know how many years, 7-8 years. So my home is scattered, but the message of going back home resonates with my age 74 years old. So where is my home? So if you think about this, doing something in your life and going back, that's a large time frame, long time frame of going out and reflecting on the time you had in your hometown. And you want to go back, and there's some kind of a adoration, you call it, of being happy to be settled at your old home. But in my case, it's been separated in different countries. And because of the Zen, which I'll come back and talk about, my home is right here, wherever I am. So, yet I'm still a person, travel around. So coming back from New Zealand, this place, I look around. I mentioned about the books and the pictures and the memorabilia, lots of stuff. So this is another home. But if you think further, the home in the sense of Zen is you are with your source. You are identifying you being with the flow of the universe, if I may say so, with manifesting what the universe may want us to be. So home is, in a way, from the Zen point of view, any place, wherever you are to find the home. If so, what's the mission? The way I look at it is that there's a mission that you can do in the long term, but you can do in the short term. Day to day, you may have a mini mission, breaking down to different areas to focus on. Sometimes you have to go through making a schedule for the dentist and all that. That may be a mini mission, but you have things to do, the task. But there's a larger mission in your life, and hopefully we're aligning to the big mission, to the mini mission, and living every day with certain process so that we accomplish the mini missions as well as accomplishing the larger mission. So, reflection of coming back from New Zealand to California would reflect me of those days in California, and also pictures remind me of the time with my parents or the visit to different countries with my son and ex-wife. All the memories come back. So those are the days I had a mission and wonderful memories. I spent time with my ex-wife for 6 hours just a few days ago, looking at all the pictures that she had in the album, as well as my album here that I found, which I haven't opened for so many years. So it's like a mini culture shock to look back your life. Also meeting friend, I just remember when I was with my ex-wife wandering around the house where we used to live together. She's still there. And the summer guy popped up and, "Hey, Kyo," he called my name, and that was Stephen Gutenberg, who is the actor actually from Hollywood basically, and living in the same neighborhood. We were together back and forth. I also had a time with my ping pong friend here, Tim and Eric. So all those are the element of the sense of the home, activities, people, what you did, work, relationship, and everything else, having fun, and the time with my son, and he's busy with his new startup. I talked with him over the phone, but he is sick now, so I can meet him, but it'll be wonderful to reconnect. But going back to this home, coming home, accomplish the mission. So the mini mission daily and yearly and through your life to accomplish something. Exploring, that's life. And when you're at older age, you reflect back and synthesize all of those and still do my best to accomplish the mission, but also having this sense of going back home, as this song may indicate. So that Zen angle that I wanted to capture with the Bodhidharma is this, that if we are connected to the source of our being and align in what we do with that being in our daily activities, that's basically we are at home all the time. Physically, things change, the location change. But internally, if you call that, wherever you are with your being, the source of your being, and you are with the home. I would call that as the Zen way of looking at the world. And back to the Bodhidharma's line that the Daisetsu Suzuki, Zen scholar, mentioned. I picked up one of his books after I came back, and just suddenly this just popped up. And it says something like this. This is from the Essays in Zen Buddhism is the name of the book, and the first series. It says, so Bodhidharma is the person who moved from India to China and transmitted the Zen. First patriarch is what they say. So here is the point. There are 4 lines, and the Daisetsu describe the principles of Zen teaching, which is unique as distinguished from other schools of Buddhism. And it says, a special transmission outside the scriptures, no dependence upon words and letters, direct pointing at the soul of man, seeing into one's nature and the attainment of Buddhahood. Without describing all the details, but the point is, as I was posting the other video, without using words or the mind, and get to the source, home that I was talking about, it was about the no mind. And those 4 lines point exactly that. And since it is not depending upon the words and letters, it's not easy to get in your mind. And they are basically saying you have to get to the root of who you are, the soul of man. And that's like seeing into our nature, and that connects to the attainment of Buddhahood, the way of Buddha, which is awakening, enlightenment. So the point of this, if I can use my words to describe about the home, mission, and the source of man, I would say I feel, I sense, I have the sense of what this Bodhidharma is talking about. And the sense is, as he points, not describable by words, but what I can say is that without words, without mind, empty mind, you have the connection at the source. And you can get there any point in your day if you get the idea of that Buddha nature or state of being pure awareness. I can relate to Eckhart Tolle talking the same thing because he says the same, that you cannot teach words are just a pointer. So that's the difficult part. And if you try to characterize in words, it's words over words and not getting to the state of being aware, no mind, empty mind, nothingness. But there is the home, sense of home that exists if our eyes are open. So going back to home, the song I mentioned is already we are at home. We are accomplishing the mission. Of course, it's not easy and we may fail it, but we always try it and then come back to home. As much as Bible may point that you don't need to carry the burden to the next day. You eat the bread maybe with tears, but that's okay. So the home is there, which cannot be described easily, but we can point and get the sense of it. And when you talk about what that sense is, again, it's like connecting to the unconscious part of who we are. Unconscious become conscious in the sense of being, awareness, stillness, emptiness, nothingness. Cannot describe, but it's there, and that is the eternal point of being. And after death, before death, during life, we are with that. And you can use that word God to replace, but even God is just a word. And I found that the saying by Bodhidharma, pointing that's the principle of Zen, is as if for me to come back home and read what's described in this book, pointing I am at home. So be at home, be aware without using mind concept, looking for things. Here now, no matter what happens, our mind may move, pop up, and we may do things, accomplish something, or not accomplish. Then you come back from moment to moment. And that to me is the point. You cannot point, but that's the point of Zen. And I'm here at home with all the words and the memories, but being reminded. It's an intuitive sense. That's another book from my mentor and friend, if I may call it, Mr. Nakayama. He was talking about that intuition and creativity, which comes by us connected to the source. And the source is where the law of universe is manifesting, and obviously, when the idea pops up, we can connect to that because we have like an AI, deep learning, seek for whatever. As much as we are born out of dust of the universe, the creative energy will flow. And that's for us to find out and go with that while we live and pass on to someone else for their mission, and we are back at home, eternal home. That's awakening of the universe, you might call it. Thank you.